gonna come in here and I'm gonna bring that up a little bit more. Shape that a little bit more in there. Okay, see that? And his eyes we'll have him looking down, in other words. Now, let's continue to get up underneath here and move that wood a little bit in there so it gives it a little bit more thing. See, from the side you can see by removing that wood down there, you see how that gives it more of a look as you look at it. Alright, see that? I'm going to just get that nose down a little bit more. Alright, let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and cut a little thing in there. I come over here and cut a little. Now it's a little bit harder with this bean here, so you want to use the tip of your knife and be very careful so that you can get it into there. Just like that. Okay. See that? You can come from this side too. This side, make a little cut. There we go. See that? And we're just going to run the mouth across here. We're not going to do anything great. We're just going to do a little, just run the mouth across there. In other words, where he's looking. He would be, the pastor would be, of course, very somber, very proper, and all that stuff. In other words, he would be Alright, let's see, a little bit more back here. See what we're looking at? Now, the eyes would be basically in this area, just here. I'm just going to go ahead and cut deep into here. And remove some of that forehead, it's too big. Okay, there we go. And your eyes would be in this way, looking down Just like that. Your eyes would be up in this area more. Oh, I'm sorry. My thing slipped. And looking down, because the Bible is going to be looking down that way, in other words. So the thing be out here and the Bible will be out here, in other words. Right, okay. He would just basically have a somber expression on his face. He would not be, you know, very, what you call extremely excited or anything like that. I could put a smile on his face, but, you know, he's looking down at his Bible and very serious issue. You take some of this off in here to give it a bit of a clarity. So there's your head. Take that nose down just a little bit more. Just like that. Okay? Alright. Now, we know, come up in here, after we do the head, that's why I wanted to make the Bible separate, because it would come out from the arms like that, in other words. Most of those preachers that they had back in those immigrant days, most of them were not basically pastors. They were not pastors of churches. Some were, but they were just basically people who knew the Bible. Some of them weren't even registered pastors or anything like that. And they would marry people. They were, a lot of those little towns would hold church. And they really didn't have a pastor or nothing. They would just have a man from the congregation or someone like that who had a knowledge of the Bible, and he would do the reading, and he would do the services. And that's what they did. That's what they did. Let this up a little bit. Go. All right. Okay. Now, yeah, and in most of those cases, they didn't really have like a pastor like they have today. They had a. Okay, I'm going to draw this right here. There he would be. Make a cut like that. Come back and move a little bit of that. Make a cut over here. And remove a little bit in here. You can cut both ways. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to get into these areas. It's no problem, we'll get there. Alright, let's take the hands. And let's come down here and cut down like this where the arms would would be I'm going to switch knives here for a minute. This is a a Simpson knife. Very good knife. I just want to switch to a little bit bigger knife here, doing some of the rough out. Okay, let's go ahead and move some wood from here. Yeah, videos, when you make videos, especially as many as I make with figures, you don't want to, I know most people don't watch all the video. They just go to the finish and look at the finished piece a lot of times and stuff, and I understand that happens, and that's fine, that's good, because if you're not going to carve it anyway, or you don't want to carve it, well, you're not going to go through the whole thing. And sometimes, you know, but my videos are long. They're longer than a lot of people are. They have a lot of parts to them. But you have to understand, a project like this is a large project. It's a large project when you have 5 figures and something, or something like that. So you have to this basswood looks so pretty, and yet it has a certain bite to it, a fight to it that wants to fight you a little bit, almost like a breakage point that you have in it. Said it's a video. It's a basswood that I got from someone. I don't even remember when. I think some of it has been through the storm, got wet, and then re-dried, and so it's got some toughness to it. Such a way we'll get through it. It's no problem. It's just and I think possibly it was probably good basswood, but it got wet and went through the storm, and all the junk that's in those, you know. I didn't want to throw it away because I had a lot of it. I really did. But it stayed in water for like 7 days, just like my house did. So, but I didn't want to throw it away because it was good basswood. I bought it. So there was some issues with it. There we go. Okay. Let's go ahead and come down here. And let's go ahead and make a cut in here. So a lot of this, what it is it went through Harvey, just like I did. And I'm surprised that it's even usable anymore. It was, I mean, it really, I'll just tell you, Harvey devastated me. It did. It took everything I had. It took everything. That's like some of the clothes that I tried to salvage and keep and stuff like that. A lot of people say, oh, would you just wash them and stuff? I did, and they smelt. They smelt. The issue with me and Harvey was that I had a sewer plant about a block from my house, and that sewer plant flowed over, so we got a lot of the sewer in our water, and a lot of the clothes, even though it was hanging up, it stayed in the house for 7 days, and it got waterlogged, or that smell of it on it, and so I just threw all my clothes away because it was really nasty. It was. And I did try to save some of it. I did, but it was not a good thing to try to do, because it very much so. Now look, what we're going to do here, we're going to draw a little triangle right in here where the hands come up. We're going to cut. We're going to cut, and we're going to take some wood off there. You know, so the clothes and all of this, so even electronics, I remember after it picking up, some of the electronics wasn't in the water. It was just above it. It was on a table. When I left that night, I really did not know that it was going to get that bad. I really didn't. Even though my house was getting close to flooding, it was not, you know, I thought, well, if it didn't rain too much that night, I would be able to save it. Well, unfortunately, it rained another 12 inches that night after I left my house, after I've been fighting it for days. So, a lot of stuff was lost. I remember picking up my computer, thinking, well, my computer looks okay, and then water just poured out of it, because the moisture in the house, because the water stayed in the house for 7 days before I could even go into it, and the moisture from the house, from the rain and everything like that, just embedded inside the everything I had. All right. So, I didn't mean to get off on that subject. It's just a subject that is pretty bad. It was. A lot of people have rebuilt. A lot of people just went ahead and moved out in my neighborhood. Our neighborhood's totally different now. A lot of people just did not want to go anymore, and they lost everything. And they didn't have, a lot of them didn't have insurance. I had insurance, and I had to end up fighting these people. Still didn't get what I wanted. So, let me warn you. Sad thing was, I had two insurance companies. I had Allstate for the flood, and Hartford for the windstorm. And both of them, Hartford tried not to pay at all. Said that there was nothing wrong with my house, and yet they went to my house, and I wasn't living there because of the I had to have fixed, hadn't had to fix it yet, and they dropped my house insurance on me and said, "Oh well, this is vacant house, so you can't do that." It's insurance companies, and I don't mean to be a marksman. Insurance companies are crooked, folks. They just are. Insurance companies are there to collect premiums. They're not there to give you money. And I tell you, they really did a number on most of us. Do this across here. But unfortunately, that's what they do. They're there to take your money until there's a disaster or something, and then they want to. Let's put it this way: I really thought Hartford was a good insurance company. It was recommended by AARP and all that other stuff. They're all the same, folks. They're all the same. They don't want to give you anything. They don't want to give you anything. They'd rather you take out a SBA loan than them pay for it. They told me that. All right, we go. Now look at him. Okay? I don't mean to get off on that subject. I just want to warn everybody out there. I just warn you, if you think your insurance company, and some people, they did good. But if you think your insurance company is won't mess you up, they will. Because they don't like paying claims. Now, I'm not talking about just flood and all that stuff. I'm talking about automobile, all that stuff. I've heard some nightmares of people who have dealt with Allstate.